Harper, I have some really bad news to tell you.
What? What kind of bad news do you have for me?
For the 4th of July, it looks like my older brother and his wife are coming home to celebrate with us.
What? So this time they're coming back here then?
Yeah. They've always been talking about how they'd never be coming back to my mom and dad's for anything, so I was sure that it was from the two of them. But for some reason, they've both gone and changed their minds, and are coming back here now during that week.
So they'll be here for the whole week of the 4th then?
Well, not that whole week, but it's going to feel like that. They were telling me 3 days will be the length that they stay.
That's a long time when it comes to those two. Well, this just means that we have a lot of preparing that we'll both have to do before they get here.
I'm sure that you still have some pretty bad memories of those two from before, but let's just try our best to make this time go as quickly as possible while they're here. How does that sound? I've also made sure to tell my brother to tell his wife not to say anything too awful to you this time around. So let's both hope that he followed through with what I asked.
I see. I guess it has been a long time since the last time I was around her, so hopefully things are a lot better now. But she really did a number on me because she thinks that she has the right to look down on me for being this so-called elite. Your brother is also a bit like that with you from time to time, right?
I think for both our sakes, we should try our best not to think too much about what they say about us, alright? My brother's always been a pain in the butt about that stuff, and I'm used to it now. But I'm sure you're not used to it yet. Especially when his wife is just like him, talking trash about anyone and everyone that's not an elite. It's shocking.
It really is quite shocking to say the least. But it's so crazy that they both talk themselves up so much, but when your mom was having a hard time, neither of them came back home to help her out. Yet on the 4th of July of all times, they want to come home?
My brother doesn't really care for family matters like most. You could say he's the black sheep in our family when it comes to showing any care for others. Anyway, my mom is pretty stressed right now, getting things together for when they both arrived, and you might have to help her out with some of it. Just remember that I'm around, and that I can help with anything if you need it.
Understood. For the time being, I'll handle things with your mom. I'll also try my best to prepare food for the 4th, since I'm sure most restaurants and such will be packed.
Sounds good. And remember that you don't have to stress yourself out too much when it comes to cooking. If you want, you can even buy some pre-made things from the store, and we can all enjoy that.
All right. I'll think about what I want to do a little, and we can go from there. From what I've heard, you're the parasite living in Jaden's parents' house. Excuse me? Oh, hi, Mila. Long time no see. We'll only be staying there for the briefest moment, but it makes total sense that you and Jaden would be the types to have still lived at their parents' house. I think the word parasite works best when describing what the two of you are to his parents. What are you trying to get at here, Mila? This will be the first time my husband and I come back to his parents' house in the past 2 years, so make sure you both give a little to this family by preparing everything for our arrival. I'm sure you want for everything to be high class for the two of you when you get here, but due to Jaden's mom not doing so well recently, things will be pretty basic this 4th of July. Why are you giving me such stupid excuses right now? What? Stupid excuses? Jaden's mom is doing just fine, and I know it. Don't start giving me BS excuses like that just because you don't want things to get done the right way. That's not what I had meant by any of that at all. When you both get here, I'll make sure to explain everything to you guys about what's been going on here. But please be aware that at the moment, we won't have a ton of things set up here for you both besides the basics. However, I'm thinking that both of Jaden's parents will be excited to have you guys here for 3 days, so it's going to be a fun holiday. I hope you're both looking forward to your stay as well. Hey, what was that you served us yesterday for dinner? Are you trying to play games with the two elites staying in this house now? What are you talking about? You and your husband both ate what I made for you guys, right? What ended up being a problem to you about what was for dinner? I'm talking about how you, the wife of my little brother-in-law, cooked dinner in the house that you're a parasite in. What the hell do you think you're doing making such awful tasting foods for everyone to eat here? Our mother-in-law didn't even say anything about it either. Is that not strange to you? And by the way, we just came home to be with you all for the 4th of July. You should be celebrating us both coming home with caviar and filet mignon. What is going on here? All of your cooking was just god-awful. I don't think anything about my cooking was awful yesterday. I made sure to put a lot of thought into it and everything. I don't give a crap how much thought you were putting into it. We are the customer right now, correct? I want better service than that while we're staying here. From what I understand, you both are just back here for the 4th, right? Why do you think of yourselves as being some kind of customers here? I'm not running this place like it's a hotel or anything. Excuse me? What did you just say to me? What I'm trying to say is that I have no idea why you're getting so upset over absolutely nothing. What are you trying to do by bullying me just because I'm living in my husband's parents' house with them? Does this have to do with me being better at cooking than you? You're not good at cooking. There's no way you'll ever be as good as I am either. What you made for all of us last night was atrocious, completely disgusting and inedible. What? That doesn't... I suppose that's what dinner is like in a house where the wife cannot cook even a simple dish. I want you to praise my husband and I for not vomiting during that whole meal last night. It was like eating raw garbage. Next time, I want to see a plate of perch or something for dinner. I think you're going a bit too far calling my cooking raw garbage like that. I don't believe you have the right to even be complaining about my cooking like that. I'm thinking it's time you just settle down and let me cook what I have planned out for us and be happy that you're being fed anything at all while you stay here. So annoying. What makes you think you can talk to me like that after the show you gave us yesterday? In this house, I'm above you by a long shot, so you shut up. I'm the wife of the older brother, after all. We chose to give his parents the gift of having us home for a few days this summer, and we're being thanked with terrible cooking like that? We can't eat such garbage again, so tonight I was to have caviar, perch, and filet mignon for dinner, you dumb witch.
You are not allowed back in my house ever again now.
What was that?
You stop all that whining right now. You are a complete idiot for talking to my daughter-in-law like that. Why do you find it acceptable to be talking to Harper in such a vexing tone, Mila? You haven't done anything for my family yet, so you have no place to talk. And as for that dinner, which was cooked last night, my sick wife was the one that made it for all of us. She may be very sick right now, but she didn't want to make Harper do all the cooking for us, so she took it upon herself. She did all of that thinking about you and my son.
Hold on for a second. What are you going on about now? Is this you, Rob?
That's right. And you seem to think it's all right to make such comments about my wife's cooking. But instead of going to her to make such complaints, you've sat there taking it all out on Harper for no reason at all. You and your husband don't ever need to come back to our house ever again. No, you won't be. You're both kicked out of here for good.
Wait, calm down for a second, Rob. What's happened to you today that's made you get so upset like that? Normally you're so calm and level-headed when it comes to your conversations with me. It's like I'm not talking to the father-in-law I've known at all right now.
What was that? I have no idea what you're talking about. I may be kind and calm, but when someone is complaining about my family like you've been, I cannot sit around and let you continue with it. I am tired of you and my oldest always acting like such privileged trash. Therefore, I'm cutting ties to the both of you.
Just calm down for a second, all right, Rob? I think you have the completely wrong idea of what's going on here.
I don't think my idea of what's been going on here is wrong in any way. I have seen enough of how you treat Harper while around her, and this time was too much. You always seem to be a witch to her, but today was the last straw. I cannot watch any of what you're doing anymore.
What? Did I say something wrong?
After laying into her as much as you've been, you're going to sit there acting like you said nothing wrong? What the hell is this about you being some kind of customer here? Thinking you can boss her around like that? I am completely tired of that behavior from someone as useless as yourself.
I'm sorry, but you do not need to be getting that angry with me.
If this is the way you behave when coming around your in-laws, then my son must be the same around here as well. Don't bother coming back to my house again. I mean it, okay?
I'm asking you to just hold on, Rob. Listen to what I have to say, please. I am so sorry about that. I didn't think you of all people would get that upset over what I was saying to her. As you can see, Rob is pretty furious with you guys right now. Is this you again, Harper? What the hell is going on here? Did you go out telling Rob things that you shouldn't be talking about with others? Was the person I just talked with really him in the first place? That was him. I have no reason to fake being him as of right now. Then tell me why he, of all people, was using your smartphone to text me when you and I were in the middle of a conversation. Have you been showing him our conversation this whole time or something? You're awful. I'm awful? The only reason you have such a problem with me having shown him what you're saying is because you're being a total jerk to me. If I'm going to be the awful one, then I guess that makes you a complete dick or something. What do you think about that? Did you just call me a dick? I sure did. And that's because your behavior resembles one perfectly. So after having to sit here and take all that crap from you, I went and spoke with Rob about it. And, well, you kept on sending me texts while I was talking to him about you, so I showed him what you were saying. And that's what ended up sending him into a frenzy like that, but he's totally right about what he's told you. He's right for that? I'm not joking around right now, idiot. He was saying things like for us to leave and to never come back to his house. Why the hell would he be saying things like that about my husband and I? What? If you wanted to continue staying here with us, then perhaps you should have been a better person while around here. I think there were plenty of things in this house that needed to be done while you were here, and those things did not include you bullying me about the cooking I never did. What are you trying to say? Well, I'm just saying that you seem to think you're worth a whole lot more than me to this family, and that's why you think you can harass me. But is that really the case? Huh? What is this all about? Your attitude is changing as well now, just like Rob's. From what it looks like to me, you assumed that Rob actually liked you as his son's wife, and that it meant you could do and say whatever you liked while around us. But in reality, I've been the one caring for Jaden's mom here, and both her and Rob love me so much for it. Caring for her? Why are you caring for someone like her? You have no clue what's been going on here then, huh? She ended up really hurting her back in a bad way, which required me to be here in order to care for her while Rob's been going to work. Huh? I never heard anything about her needing someone here all the time to care for her. I am sure Rob told your husband this a while back as well when things first went downhill for her. But you and your husband never really care to talk about the family, now do you? That's not true. We just don't like to talk about useless things between us. Don't say things like that when it's regarding your mother-in-law. I have been living here with Jaden for the past 6 months now, caring for his mom, all right? That's why, for the 4th of July, while you both came home, she wanted to change things up and prepare food for all of us. For half a year now, she hasn't really been doing anything on her own, and so she wanted to have something to look forward to. And so that's why she did her very best to make dinner for us all last night. Well, all that food last night was like something a college student would cook, so I assumed you were the one that made it all. Sorry that I mistook who was cooking. Had I known that she was the one who cooked all that food, I would have never complained about any of it. Stop trying to make up excuses now. All you do when it comes to this family is ignore what's happening between all of us and say whatever the heck you want without a care in the world. And because of that, this time, you really made Rob get upset with you. Well, it wasn't my fault he got mad. I didn't know that our mother-in-law was dealing with back problems, and only telling me about things now is a huge pain in the butt for me. Well, I suppose no matter what I have to say to you now, you and your husband's fates are sealed. Rob is going to talk with her about you guys right now, and after today, they are both cutting ties to you guys. Both you and your husband will no longer be allowed back in this house, nor back in this family. What are you going on about there? What are you trying to say we did to you all? You're going to make me say it again? This is what it must be like to be a 3rd grade teacher then. When it comes to the two of you, you both don't care about what happens in the family, nor do you bother to help out. And after 2 years of never coming home, you both show up and think you can act like you're our guests. And not only that, but you also look down on both myself and on Jaden, trying your guys' best to make us feel horrible. And then you think that you can treat me like a slave, calling me a parasite just because we're both living here now? I'm the older brother's wife, so I think I'm allowed to do all of that. It's totally fine for me to treat you both like that from time to time. What kind of thinking is that? It's like you have your head up your butt or something. I'm not going to talk with you anymore if you're thinking of yourself like that all the time. To both my in-laws, I happen to actually be their family now. And since I'm a part of their family, I'm not going to continue talking to you about them, especially when they see you as nothing more than strangers now. I can't wait for today to be over so that we no longer have to think of you both. I don't care if you cut ties to us. But are both my husband's parents really going to do that to us? Well, that's what it's looking like now after what kind of crap you pulled today. Even Rob said it to you himself that he's cutting ties to the both of you. I don't think he can deal with you guys anymore, and he'd much rather love Jaden and I over you two. Wait a second! Then what about the plans for the house? What plans for the house are you talking about? Rob was telling us before that he'd help both of us pay for the new house we're planning on building. We had that all planned out between one another, but does him cutting ties with us mean those plans are off now? There's no way in hell that's the case, right? Please tell me that's not the case for us right now. I've been so excited about having a house built for us that I've gone around bragging about it to everyone. Well, thinking about what's been said here today, I'm pretty sure those plans are dead now. What? I'm not sure what's going to end up happening after today, but he did say that he was cutting ties to the both of you. So I'm just going to say it outright, but it would be wild if he still helped you both pay for a new house to be built after cutting ties. I really don't think he's planning to help either one of you now. No way. It's all because of you, Harper, that the plans for my dream house are gone. Is that what's going to happen here? I've been waiting for so long to have that new house be built for us, and you're saying Rob won't help us now? What has all of that holding back I've been doing for? Holding back? Well, maybe you should have tried a little better at being a good daughter-in-law so that you'd be given some money for the house. I was being a good wife, but after harassing you just a little bit, all of that time spent faking my happiness in this family was for nothing. This is all your fault, every little bit of it. You stop it right now trying to blame me for you being such a pile of crap, witch. I like to think you not getting some money for a new house to be built is what you deserve. Haven't you always been bragging to me about how you both are so-called elites? Something to do with your husband being on the path to becoming the CEO of the company he's working for? You continue to speak about how he's this amazing businessman for the company, but really all he is a base-level employee still, right? What does him being a base-level employee have to do with anything? It's already incredible that he gets to work for the largest company in the city right now. And you always make it seem like you have all this money at home, but from what I've been able to tell, you don't work a job. I used to work full-time. I used to be a private secretary back in the day. Back in the day, right? That means currently the two of us are both housewives, right? So I have no freaking idea why you keep looking down on me when we're both riding the same wave. If you were going to complain so much about the food I was making, then why didn't you go ahead and cook for all of us last night? But of course, you probably can't do anything properly with those long and disgusting nails of yours. You stop that! I'm sorry for mentioning anything about the cooking last night. What? You just apologized for something. I never thought you'd be able to learn how to do that. Can you please go and explain all of this to Rob? I cannot have him hating me now after this. I want a new house, so there's no way I can have him hating me. That's right. Both of them just finished up talking to one another about you and your husband. He said that he's going to get all that money he's been lending to you guys back really soon. Huh? From our wedding? He wasn't just paying for that out of kindness? No, he's told me that he just lent you guys the money until you could both pay him back. That's what he had told his son back then, so I'm surprised you never heard about this. Yet again, though, you and him don't like to talk about anything that has to do with the family. You're lying, right? We can't even afford to have a house built for us, and now he wants us to pay him back for the wedding? Are you guys trying to steal all our money or something? Yesterday, Jaden overheard something you and your husband were talking about. Something about him having to quit his job. What? And that's the reason you both came back for the 4th of July after being out of touch for 2 years. You guys wanted more of his dad's money. You have it all wrong. Wait, my husband quit his job? What? Well, it looks like things haven't been too elite for you both back at home after all. Let's just hope those titles of being elites are able to carry you out of the fire you've started there. I know that you liked to call me a parasite for living here with Jaden's parents. But who were the real ones that came here to leech off his parents? Well, that's too bad, though, because your host is getting rid of you both for good. Do your best supporting yourselves for once, you heaps of trash. In the end, it was in fact the truth I said to Mila about her husband having quit his job, and when he went and told her again about it, she freaked out. When it came to our in-laws, they also chose to cut ties to them for good. And from that, Rob would neither be helping pay for a new house to be built, nor would he be giving them any more money. And instead, he asked for the both of them to pay all that money he lent for the wedding back. After a few weeks of the four of us having cut ties to those two, I've noticed that things in the family have been a lot more peaceful, as we no longer need to ever think about them.
I heard that you haven't been taking care of the house at all. You should either take care of the household chores or go find yourself a job. As Harold's wife, you should do what is expected of you. If you don't, my son is going to leave you and you're going to have to move out of the house.
Did you come over to our place again without telling me? I've asked you over and over again not to come to our house unannounced. I would appreciate it if you let me know beforehand.
Melanie, why do you have to be so bossy all the time? The house belongs to Harold, and as his mother, don't you think that I have the right to come over as I please?
I think that the house belongs to the both of us. Harold and I are married. Please don't treat me like I'm Harold's accessory. Harold and I are equals.
I just don't understand why you're so hostile towards me. I know what you're thinking. You're only after Harold's money and assets. As his mother, I'm going to do everything in my power to stop you.
I don't know why you're so paranoid. I'm not after Harold's money. You've got it all wrong. And I'm sorry to say this, but Harold doesn't have much money or assets.
What do you mean by that? If Harold really doesn't have much money, it's because you spent it all. You're exploiting him.
I don't understand where you're coming from. Why are you messaging me anyway? What do you need? I'm still working, so if you don't need anything specific, I'm going to go now.
Harold told me that you don't do any of the household chores, which is why I've been coming over to the house when I can. I've been making him dinner. I prepared many things today so that it will last a while, and so that Harold doesn't have to worry about making his own dinner. I made the meals for Harold, so please don't eat them yourself.
You really didn't have to go through all that trouble, but thank you anyway. Harold has a lot of time on his hands, so I'm sure that he has more than enough time to help out around the house and cook meals himself.
How can you say such a thing? Harold works until midnight every day. You don't seem to understand that he works really hard. I feel sorry for him. He works hard and then his wife spends all his hard-earned money. What you're doing to him is truly unforgivable.
I think this is all a big misunderstanding. I'm not using any of Harold's money. It's the other way around. We're both living off of my earnings. I think it's about time you saw the truth about your son. He's not as perfect as you think. You should sit down and talk with him.
Harold told me not to take your words seriously.
Did he really say that to you?
He did, and I believe what he tells me. I'm not going to allow you to continue to live off Harold's hard-earned money. He deserves better than this. How about you try to be a better wife to him?
I'd like to say the same thing to him. Harold hasn't been a very good husband to me.
Harold works until midnight every day. What more do you want from him? Don't you care about his health and well-being? You should treat him with a little more respect.
Okay, fine.
If you agree with what I'm saying, you need to start behaving the way that I want you to as well.
I realize that this is just a waste of time to keep on talking to you like this.
A waste of time?
I'm busy with work now, so please stop messaging me. Bye. Oh, and please let me know in advance the next time you plan to come over to our house. Why didn't you come home last night? Were you working through the night?
That's right. I just got off work, so I'll come home in a bit.
I know that you let your mother come over to our house again. I asked you to tell me when she comes over. Why did you try to hide it from me?
I wasn't hiding anything. Besides, why do I have to let you know every time my mother comes over? She's my mother, not some stranger.
Even if it's your mother, I'd like to know in advance. I don't like people showing up at our house unannounced.
Well, it's my house too. I don't always have to follow your rules. It's my mother. You have nothing to worry about. Why do you care so much?
I don't get along with your mother well. I'd rather she not show up at our house. Let me know the next time you plan on having her over.
Okay, whatever. By the way, I need some money. Will you give me some, please?
Why? What happened to the salary that you earned?
It's not payday just yet. I have a couple more days to go. I need some money before then, so please.
You'd better not go gambling again with my hard-earned money.
I won't, I promise. You got nothing to worry about.
I think that I have every reason to be worried. I won't forgive you if I find out later that you used my money on gambling.
I need $1,000.
I am not going to give you such a large amount of money. I'd like to make some time to sit down with your mother and talk, the three of us. I can't continue to go on like this.
I need to go. Later. Just leave the money that I asked you for at home. I really need the money.
Are you even listening to me?
I felt so bad for Harold, so I did the best thing that I could for him as his mother. Please don't try to control him anymore.
What?
I realized after going to your house a couple of times, Harold needs me more than he needs you.
I don't understand where this is coming from. What are you talking about?
I want you to pack up your things and move out of the house. I can't have you living off Harold anymore like some parasite.
You're not making any sense to me right now. Tell me what's going on. I need you to explain it to me.
You guys are divorced now.
What the hell? Why am I hearing about this from you and not Harold?
I found the divorce papers at your house, so I took the liberty of filing them for you. It's what you wanted, right? Seeing that you had the divorce papers filled out and ready.
Does this mean that you went into our bedroom and went through our stuff? How could you? You're right. I did have the divorce papers ready. I knew that things with Harold and I weren't going well, and I wanted the option of ending our marriage if it ended up being the case.
Well, I filed them for you, so there's no need for you to worry about that anymore. You and Harold are back to being strangers now. That's why I'm asking you to pack up your things and move out.
I cannot believe that you filed the divorce papers without asking our permission. What you did is ludicrous. I didn't expect you to take things this far.
Well, I couldn't bear to see Harold so unhappy in his marriage anymore. You should be grateful that Harold put up with you for so long and let you stay in his beautiful home. It's now time for you to leave.
I don't understand why you're so self-righteous. Are you sure that you made the right choice here? Harold is going to be the one to suffer if I leave him. I'll be just fine on my own. You're going to regret the fact that you filed those papers.
I'm not going to regret anything. It was the best thing for Harold. Don't you know how much Harold makes in a month? His monthly salary is $10,000.
Are you sure about that?
I'm the one preparing all of his meals right now, and if you stop taking his money, his entire salary will be mine. That's why we're both happy to see you go. I don't know why Harold married you in the first place. You didn't do anything for him, and all you do is spend his money. Now hurry up and leave our house. I want you out of here ASAP.
Okay, fine. I'll move out as you wish. Good luck to the two of you then.
We don't need any luck. We'll both be very happy without you.
I was surprised to know that you filed the divorce papers without consulting us first. But I'm looking forward to your reaction when you find out the truth about my marriage to Harold.
What do you mean by that?
Let me just say this. I'm thrilled to be moving out. Thank you for filing the divorce papers.
It was my pleasure. Now, please leave. Harold and I are both so excited to start a new life without you.
Well, good for you. It was nice knowing the both of you. Goodbye.
Melanie, may I have a word with you? There's something that I want to check with you.
I'm sorry, but I have nothing to say to you. Bye.
Wait a second. There's no need for you to be so rude to me. It's about the rent.
What about the rent? The lease agreement has been changed over to your name now, so there's really no need for you to involve me.
Yes. When did you change the name of the lease over to me? You could have told me about that. Why was the lease in your name in the first place? Shouldn't have been in Harold's. And why change it over to my name and not Harold's? It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, Harold works part-time at a convenience store. He's not qualified to put his name on the lease agreement.
What? I didn't know that Harold worked at a convenience store. What do you mean by part-time?
You said that you wanted to talk to me about the rent. Are you going to tell me that you can't afford to pay the rent or something?
Yes, that's right. How did you know? Do you know why there's no money in Harold's bank account? It just doesn't make any sense.
Actually, it makes perfect sense to me. Harold doesn't have any real money, which is why he doesn't have any savings. But it's not something to get all nervous about. I think you misheard Harold's salary. You seem to think that he makes 10 grand a month when it's actually $1,000 a month.
What do you mean?
Harold works part-time at a convenience store, and the maximum he makes a month is $1,000. Sometimes less than that. What made you think that he made 10 times that amount?
I bet you're lying to me. Harold's salary can't be that low. Otherwise, how would he be able to afford this house? Besides, I've seen his payslip before. I don't think that I have the wrong number.
Oh, so you looked at the payslips then. I get it now. The payslips were mine, not Harold's. You just assumed that they belonged to Harold. Well, you were wrong.
Those payslips were yours?
Yes, that's right. I was the breadwinner. I work in the sales department of a global firm, so my pay is very high. That's why we were able to afford the house that you're now living in. The rent is around $2,000, which is twice what Harold earns in a month. I knew that Harold wouldn't be able to pay the rent once I moved out, which is why I put your name on the lease agreement. Don't tell me that you quit your job.
This is all new to me. I didn't know that you were the one making all the money. I can't believe this. How are Harold and I going to pay for our living expenses then? There's no way that the two of us could live off the $1,000 that Harold brings in each month. I thought he made 10 times that amount, which is why I quit my job. And I just finished selling my house.
Did the proceeds from selling the house get wired to Harold's bank account by any chance?
Yes. Is that a problem? I'm not good with money, so I had Harold take care of it all. He was more than happy to.
Well, I bet he's gambled all that money already.
What?
I have a stable job, and I have no money troubles like Harold. I didn't need him in my life to live happily. Harold used to have a good job, but then he embezzled some money and got caught. He was penniless after he paid the company compensation for the damages caused. He was also fired from his job, naturally. After that, he started gambling and borrowed money to go to casinos. Now, he has a lot of debt. When we were still married, I helped him out with his money troubles, but now that we're strangers, none of this is my concern.
Why am I only hearing about this now? When did Harold start gambling, and why didn't you tell me?
Well, he recently started working at that convenience store, and I thought that he was trying to better himself, but he's been going to casinos in the mornings when he isn't at work. Basically, he's using all his money on gambling. He hasn't changed his old habits.
Casinos?
You were so proud of Harold for working so late at night. But it's just at a convenience store and he isn't making the kind of money that you wish for. Harold isn't working long hours. He's simply in charge of the night shifts at the convenience store. I work much harder than he does and I get paid well too. I'm sure that there are college students out there that are making more money than Harold. I wish you the best of luck with everything.
It seems that I had it all wrong.
That's what I've been trying to tell you all this time, but you wouldn't listen to me.
I'm sorry that I didn't take you seriously before. I'll pay more attention to you now. So would you please forgive us and come home? I realize how much you've been doing for Harold and I. It would mean a lot to me if you moved back in with us. And I'd really appreciate it if you could help pay the rent of this house.
Why in the world would I do that after the way you treated me? No way! It is too late to try to be nice to me. I know that it's just an act and that you're only after my money. I already moved into a fabulous new place and I am very happy living on my own. I can't believe that I used to live with Harold. Life on my own is so much more comfortable and enjoyable. I should have divorced him sooner instead of waiting for you to file those papers. I'm very grateful to you for filing those papers though, so thank you for taking care of it.
You don't need to thank me for that. It'd make me much happier if you got back together with Harold. You used to be married to him. Don't you worry that he doesn't have enough money to live off of? I don't know what to do. How am I supposed to pay for everything? You need to help us. Melanie, please.
Well, like you said, we're strangers now, so I don't think that I can do anything for you. You told me that I was a parasite and that I should move out. I took your advice and moved out. Shouldn't you be satisfied with that?
Asking you to move out was a mistake. I take it back. I'm really sorry. Please forgive me and move back home.
I'm sorry, but it's just too late. There's not anything you can say to change my mind. Please figure things out with Harold. I'll stay out of your life like you wanted me to. Goodbye now. Harold is a new parasite in your life. Enjoy! After her conversation with Melanie, Helen confirmed with Harold that Melanie was telling the truth. And as Melanie had predicted, Harold had already spent the proceeds from selling Helen's house on gambling. The money was gone. So Helen no longer had the money to buy back her old house even if she wanted to. For obvious reasons, Helen and Harold were not able to afford the rent of their current home and had no choice but to move out. They even had to pay a penalty fee to the landlord because they were late in paying the rent. Helen and Harold ended up on the streets, and although Helen had hoped to live a happy life using Harold's money, she ended up living a life of despair. It doesn't seem like it would be easy for either of them to get stable jobs.
Isabel, how are you? Where are you right now?
Charlotte, hi! I'm well. How are you? I'm at my parents' today. The kids haven't seen their grandparents in a while, so I thought it would be good to have a visit. Are you okay? Did you need me for something?
Oh, no, nothing's wrong. I just heard that you're gonna move out.
Yeah, we are. Not yet, but we've already spoken to a real estate advisor. Rumors really do spread fast, don't they? I guess I shouldn't be surprised since it's such a small community. We haven't decided when we'll be moving, but I think it'll happen in the next few weeks. We're hoping we can move out as soon as possible.
Oh, where are you gonna move?
We're going to move in with my parents. That's part of the reason why we're visiting for a few days. Both of my parents are getting on in age, and they're finding it difficult to get the shopping and chores done. My mother is especially frail recently. We're going to have their house remodeled to make it easier for them to move around and so we can all fit in. My husband's also asked to get relocated to this state for work, and they're giving us the green light, so everything's going according to plan.
Really? Well, good for you. But it'll be so lonely without you. If you're not here, I can't go to yours to have lunch anymore. Who's gonna make us all those delicious lunches?
Yeah, I'm sure the kids will miss seeing each other every day at lunchtime.
I won't be able to eat your cakes and sweets either. Your handmade brownies are the best I've ever tasted. And I'll need to find someone else to drive my kids to school. Oh, it was really great having you around to drive us whenever we needed it. Without you here, I'm gonna have to do so much stuff myself.
Yeah, that's true. If you ever have the time, feel free to come visit us here. That'll give the kids a chance to see each other again. It's far from the city, but there's a lot of nature, and it's a lovely place with a lot of beautiful views. There's plenty of space for the kids to run around, too.
If you're gonna pay for the gasoline for the trip, then sure. You're moving out of state, aren't you? It'll take us a few hours' drive to get there, and that sounds really tiring. How about you come and get us?
I think that's going to be difficult. I'd have to drive around for 6 hours just to get you here. Well, if you're ever in the area, then let me know. I can prepare some brownies. Anyway, I've got to go. I'll talk to you later.
Oh, hey, wait a sec. I still have something to ask. What are you gonna do with your car when you move?
We'll be taking it with us, of course. We won't be able to get around without a car. We won't be living in the city anymore, so a car is a necessity.
Oh, but won't it be a bother to drive there? You could get a bus there and a new car when you arrive. I'll take your old car off your hands if you want.
I'm sorry, what? Were you just trying to make a joke? The car I have now is still new, so there's no point in buying another one.
Oh, I guess you really like that car. What about your furniture? The big electrics like your dishwasher and fridge? Oh, what about your TV? Are you gonna leave those behind? Why don't I just take them for you? That way you can save having to move them all the way to your parents' house. I prefer the refrigerator the most. The one we have right now is really small, and I've been looking for a big one like yours. Plus, your fridge is a new model, isn't it? It's energy saving too, right? But it's really big. It'll be really difficult to take with you. I should take it for you.
I'm grateful you're being so considerate, but we won't be leaving anything behind. We'll be using a moving company to take everything with us, and we've already made a list of the things that'll be going in the trucks, so you don't have to worry about lightening our load or anything. As for the stuff we don't need, we'll be selling those online, so there's no problem whatsoever.
What? Are you being serious? You're gonna sell things online, but you're not gonna give anything to me? I thought we were friends, so I was expecting something when I heard you were moving away.
Excuse me?
Well, you're moving away, so I thought you would give me something. I never thought you would just sell everything without telling me. I was really looking forward to seeing what I might get. I'm really disappointed in you. I thought you were much better than that. You could give me something, you know. We've been friends for a while now. You're surprisingly selfish, aren't you?
I don't understand why I have to be insulted like that. And you're calling me selfish? I don't think I owe you anything after all the favors I've done for you.
I don't remember you doing me any favors. What about your house? I can have that, can't I?
You want my house? Are you kidding me?
You definitely won't be using it. You're moving to a different house. And you can't take it with you. There's no point keeping it as a summer home since there aren't any great vacation spots in this area. We are friends, aren't we? You won't give me any furniture, so you'll give me your house, right? I'll forgive you for deciding to sell your furniture without consulting me if you do.
What on earth are you talking about?
I'm saying I want your house. Don't you understand English? You're not going to use it anyway. What's the problem? Don't tell me you're not going to give it to me either. I'm telling you I'll take your house for you. You should show a little more gratitude. I'm doing you a massive favor. This way, you don't have to deal with all the little details of having to put it on the market and sell it and all that complicated stuff.
I'm sorry. I really don't understand what you're saying. You're joking, right? Are you seriously asking me to give you my house for free?
What's so hard to understand? I want your house. It's a pretty simple sentence. My family and I are living in an apartment right now, but it's really small and cramped for all four of us. Our kids are getting bigger by the day, so it would be great if we could have a place that has more rooms so they can each have their own space. They need privacy after all. Your house is detached and it's really big too. Your kids each have their own room, don't they? My kids could use their rooms after you left. It's perfect for my family and it's great timing if you're moving out of your house. I'll take it for you and save you a lot of trouble. It's a win-win situation. You'll give it to us, won't you?
That's really funny. I'm happy that you're so fond of our choice of property, and I'm flattered, really. You really love jokes, don't you, Charlotte?
What? I'm not joking about anything, though. And I'm not trying to flatter you. I really do want your house.
What? You're being serious? But you're asking me to give you my house for free. You're just joking, aren't you? No one in their right mind would expect someone to give them their house just like that.
What's the problem? You're not just someone. We're friends.
What? You honestly think that friends would give each other an entire house for free?
Yeah, so what if I do? I'm being super serious. I want your house, so why won't you give it to me? I'm telling you, I'll take it from you for free. It'll save you a lot of time and stress dealing with selling it. You don't need it anymore, so I'll take it for you. It's a waste to just leave it behind and not do anything with it, so I'll take it off your hands. You don't have to thank me. I'm doing it out of the kindness of my heart. And I really do love what you've done with the place, so the both of us might get a lot out of it. I can tell that you put a lot of thought into the interior design too. It's really beautiful. I love that the living room is really big too. It can't have been this big when you bought the house, so it must have cost a lot to have it reformed. My kids will love watching TV and having parties in this room. Oh, I'm sure that my husband will love living here too.
Okay, hold on. You haven't moved in yet. I haven't even given an affirmative, and you're already imagining living in my house and lording your so-called favor over me?
What? But it's a really big favor I'm doing you.
Calm down. You should listen to what you're saying. Because you really don't make any sense at all. You recognize that it took a lot of time and money to make this house the way it is, and yet you still want me to give it to you for free? I don't understand you at all. Are you okay? Do you have a fever or something? Are you delirious? You should really read your messages back and take a second to confirm if you're fine with the nonsense you've been typing up until now.
Why should I do that? All I'm doing is asking a friend if she can give me her house. Yeah, You've worked hard on making it into a home, but you're moving to another place so you don't need it anymore.
Normally, when people move out of a property they own, they sell their homes. I think that's common sense. People don't just give up their homes for free to a friend. Even if it was family, a house is way too big of an investment to give away. And usually, the person on the receiving end wouldn't accept such a thing for free either. If it were me, I would at least offer to pay a monthly rent or something to make it worth it. But regardless of whether you want it or not, we're going to sell this house. We've already spoken with a real estate agency. Because of all the work we've put into it, I think we can get a good price for it. We're going to put this house on the market.
What? You never told me that. I thought we were friends. How could you decide to sell it without offering it to me first?
I'm sorry. Do you think you're the victim in this situation? Why are you making it sound like I stabbed you in the back? I told you earlier that we had already gotten advice from a real estate agent, didn't I?
I don't remember that. But if you really thought of me as a friend, you'd give it to me for free, wouldn't you? That's the normal thing to do. I can't believe you'd sell it before offering it to your friends.
We're talking about a house, right? It's not the same as making you and your son's lunch every day and making sweets whenever you come over. It's an entire house you're asking for. You're just asking me to give you a perfectly sellable house. For free. Just because we're friends? I've never heard of anything like that before.
I thought we were friends, but I guess it was just me that thought of you like that, even though we had so much fun together up until now. I'm shocked that you won't give me your house. It makes me wonder what the point was in being so close. I never knew you were so selfish.
What? You're calling me selfish? Says the woman that never cooks her own lunch and has never invited me to have dinner at hers despite the countless number of times I've made her lunch for her? How can you be such a hypocrite? And I thought we were friends for the sake of being friends, not because we expected free gifts from each other when one of us moves. And you're asking for a house? How does that even make any sense? Of course, I'm not giving you my house for free. If you want it, you'll have to go through the proper procedures to buy it off the market. At the very least, I'll let you know when we put it out for sale.
Seriously? You're gonna make me buy your house? I can't believe you'd say something like that. And I can't believe you'd bring up lunch like that. I thought you were happy to make lunch for me. And you have the bigger house, so of course you'd be the host for our lunches. You're really horrible. You're saying that because you know I don't have the money to buy your house at the market price. I can't afford the things you can, you know. Just because you and your husband make a lot of money doesn't mean that you can look down on me like that.
I haven't said a single thing about being better than you just because I have more money. I just said that if you want my house, you can buy it. I can't give it to you for free. You're the one that's taking advantage of my kindness. I'm surprised that anyone could think that giving houses away was normal. I don't know how much money you think I have, but it's not enough to start giving things away for free. That's all I wanted to say.
Why should I have to pay for it? You should just give it to me. I've already told my husband. What am I supposed to do now?
Huh? What did you tell him?
I messaged him to tell him that I'll be able to get a free house from a friend. I already told him and he's really excited about it, so you have to give it to me. I let him know that he can come and take a look at it today while he's out. His shift should be ending soon, so I think he'll be there in an hour or so.
Wait. Your husband is coming to look at my home? Today? But I'm not there. How do you plan on getting in?
Oh, yeah, I forgot to tell you. When I came to visit the other day, I found a spare key when I was looking through the drawers of that cabinet you have in the corridor. I took it home with me so that I could use that to get into the house. You don't mind, of course. It'll be my house in a few weeks anyway.
This is unbelievable. I can't believe what I'm reading right now.
I'm already inside, so it's a bit too late to tell me I can't. I've brought my sons with me, so we're watching TV in the living room. It would be really nice if you could leave this flat screen behind for us too. It's the perfect size for such a big room. Once my husband comes, he'll be taking a tour of the house and see what we think. But I think it's obvious he's not going to say no to such a great house. He was so happy to hear that you'll be giving it to us for free. He was saying that this must be an early Christmas miracle or something. Oh, isn't he cute? He was just like a little kid that got the present he had been dreaming of.
Wait a minute. This is too much for me to take. Are you telling me you've broken into my house? Why would you tell him something so irresponsible? I haven't agreed to anything like that. Not to giving you my house, and certainly not to you having a house tour while I'm out. What you're doing right now, that's called trespassing. It's a crime. You're breaking the law. Do you understand?
Oh, don't be like that. We're friends. This doesn't count. And it's going to be mine anyways. What's so bad about me visiting my future house? Don't make such a big deal out of it. You should chill out a bit more.
Are you crazy? That's still my house. We haven't moved out yet, and our stuff is still there. And I haven't said anything about giving you my house. This entire conversation has been me saying that I'm not giving it to you. I told you, if you want it, you have to buy it. How many times do I have to tell you that I'm not giving it to you before you understand? Would you please listen to what I'm saying? I want you out of my house, right now.
Sorry, I don't understand. My kids are having fun watching their favorite TV show, and my husband's on his way. Don't worry, your house is in safe hands. It's gonna be mine in a few weeks, so it's not like we'd break anything.
You've broken into my house with a stolen key, and you're telling me not to worry? What's wrong with you? There's something seriously messed up about this situation. You're actually terrifying me. Why are you even looking through our cabinet anyway? You didn't just find the spare key, you were looking for it and you got lucky. You're a criminal.
You're overreacting. We're always visiting you. Why is this any different? We'll go as soon as my husband's taken a look at the house. It's okay, I won't let him or the kids go through your things in the bedrooms. Though, it would be interesting if we found something.
What are you going on about? It's completely different. I'm not just worried about you going through my stuff. That's the least of my worries. The problem is that you're breaking and entering. I can't believe this. I won't be able to go home until tomorrow, and I can't trust a word you say. I'm calling the police.
You're gonna call the police over something like this? You're making a big deal out of nothing. All I did was borrow your key. We're supposed to be friends. Can't you relax a little?
You didn't borrow it. I didn't say you could take it. You stole it. Friends don't do things like this. And you've broken our trust, so I don't even think of you as a friend anymore. Please get out of my house. I'm asking you nicely. If you don't, I'm calling the police.
Oh, but I was thinking about making steak for dinner. I've already prepared the vegetables and the pan's already warmed up.
What? What do you mean? Steak? I don't understand. Are you trying to make dinner in my house? And of all the things you can make, you're going to make steak?
I found some really delicious looking meat in the fridge, so I thought it would be a great idea for dinner. I asked the kids and they seem really excited. They're really hungry after running all over the place, so I've already started prepping everything. All that's left is to broil the meat.
You've got to be kidding. You let your kids run all around my house, and you're going to fill them up with food from my fridge?
We've got to put the kids first, Isabel. They're hungry. I've got to feed them. If I wait until I get home, then they'll end up going to bed much later, and you know how kids get when they stay up late. We'll go home as soon as we've eaten dinner, I promise.
How can I trust any promise you make after you've broken into my home and gone through my fridge? God knows what else you've done without telling me. You clearly think that it's okay to break the law and invade our privacy? Why shouldn't I call the police?
Okay, yeah, I went through some of your stuff and I started cooking without asking you, but it's not like I did anything bad. It's not something worth involving the police in.
You must have a screw loose if you really think that. You understand that this is a crime, don't you?
Oh, don't exaggerate. You're being such a drama queen.
I guess there's no point in trying to deal with this between us, so you give me no choice. I've already called one of my neighbors to check up on the house and told her that you're trespassing. She kindly agreed to be there when the police arrived to explain what's going on.
What? You've already told someone I'm here? And you called the police on me? Why would you do that? I thought we were friends. You're going way too far with this. Call them and tell them it's a mistake.
You keep on repeating that you thought that we were friends, but that's my line. You're the one that stepped over the line by breaking into my house. I can't believe you'd do something so stupid.
Wait a second, Isabel. Did you really call the police on me? Are they actually coming here? My husband's already on his way. He said he's gonna be here in 10 minutes. Could you just wait a little longer? As soon as my husband arrives, we'll look around really quickly and go home after we've eaten dinner. It won't take that long, so can you just call the police and tell them not to come? I swear, we'll be gone in an hour.
You're absolutely crazy if you think that's okay. You're breaking and entering. All I'm doing is reporting a crime to the police. How about you calm down and think about what you're doing? How would you feel if this was done to you? I don't think you'd be very happy either.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you this angry. I thought you'd be okay with it because we're friends. I'll apologize. Please tell the police that you made a mistake. I'll do anything you ask. Just please don't have me arrested. Oh no, someone's at the door. They keep on ringing the doorbell. What do I do? What do I have to do for you to forgive me?
It's my neighbor. She's come to see if you're still there. Why don't you answer the door and explain to her what you're doing in my house? And it's a little too late to beg for my forgiveness. You should have left the house when I first asked you to. Actually, no. You should have never stolen my key if you didn't want the police to get involved. I hope that you'll finally understand that what you've done is a crime and learn to never make the same mistake again after getting the punishment you deserve.
Wait, Isabel, I'm really sorry. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean to make you this angry. I thought you'd be okay with it because we're friends. I heard the rumors about you moving and I've always liked your house. I just thought it would be nice to live in a place like this and just wanted to show my husband, that's all. If anything, I wish you would just take it as a compliment. I didn't want to make you angry, I swear. I'm really sorry. Can you please forgive me?
It's too late for apologies. You've already done more than enough to ruin our friendship. You can explain the rest to the police because I'm done listening to your excuses. I'm going to let the other moms in the neighborhood know about what you did, so they'll be more cautious when they invite you into their homes. That's if they ever feel comfortable with letting you in after they hear about what happened today. I'll be speaking to the kindergarten too, just in case.
What? You don't have to do that. If you tell everyone, nobody will want to have lunch with me. I'm really sorry. Can we just forget about all of this? I'm apologizing, so can't you forgive me just this once? I won't ever do it again. Isabel, I can hear a police siren. You didn't call them off? Are they still coming to the house?
That's right. Why would I call them off? You wouldn't leave, so what other choice did I have? They're going to arrest you for breaking and entering. It's a shame that your children have to watch their mother getting arrested, but it might be a good chance for them to realize that what you've done isn't okay. Besides, it was your decision to bring them with you when you trespassed into my home. You'll have to explain that to the police as well. I don't know how much your husband knows about you stealing my key and getting into my house without my permission, but I hope that he has enough sense to know that what you've done is wrong and will be able to teach your children not to copy your actions. I hope that the effect this will have on your family, friendships, and most of all your life will teach you a lesson. Goodbye. The police arrived at Isabel's home, and Charlotte ended up being taken away to the nearest police station to be questioned. But before she was taken away, she had made a futile effort to deceive the police and had been telling them that she was just house sitting. Thankfully, the neighbor that Isabel asked to check on her home stayed with the police to explain what she had heard from Isabel herself over line. She told the police on Isabel's behalf that Charlotte had never been asked to house sit, and that the key she used to enter the house was stolen. Charlotte's lies and excuses were meaningless, and the police officers were able to get a better idea of the situation. As for Charlotte's children, they had been nagging their mother for dinner, but when the police arrived, they finally realized that they might be in trouble. Of course, they didn't understand what for, so they were very, very relieved when their father's car appeared. Charlotte's husband had also been looking forward to having dinner, so he was surprised to find her standing with the police out on the street. After hearing the truth, he took their children home. Charlotte herself was stuffed into the back of a police car and taken away. Isabel couldn't forgive Charlotte for what she had done and decided to press charges. Luckily for Charlotte, she was charged guilty but managed to avoid time in prison by paying compensation to Isabel. However, because of the scene that she had made outside Isabel's house with the police, the entire neighborhood found out about why she had been arrested within days, and she lost all the friends she had because nobody wanted to invite someone so untrustworthy into their home. As a result, she and her family ended up moving away. Charlotte's story teaches us that being too self-centered can have deep and irreversible effects on our relationships. I hope we can all learn from her and avoid being too selfish ourselves.